You are listening to Audio SSLC, your audio medium for easy understanding and revision. To download a copy of this recording, please visit audioSSLC.com. Unit 4, Consumer Education and Protection. We learn about the following in this chapter: consumer rights, exploitation and consumer awareness. The major objectives of the consumer protection and its importance. To follow certain precautionary measures while buying goods and services. The significance of the consumer education and information with regard to methods of filing cases with the consumer court. The user and the provider. The service organizations have used the term user to those who use the goods and services. The person who supplies goods or services is called provider. The government in its Consumer Protection Act has used the word consumer in place of user. It is the duty of the traders and producers to provide quality goods and services for the price paid by the consumer. It is the right of every consumer to get quality goods and services. The traders or the producers cheat the consumers in many ways. To stop this hindrance, some social organizations started some movements. The history of consumer movement began in US. In India, the Planning Commission backed the idea of foundation of, open quotes, Indian Association of Consumers, close quotes, in 1956. For various reasons, it was not effective. The real beginning of the movement was started in India in 1965. During that year, some women of Mumbai started a movement called AWARE, which stands for the Association of Women Against Rising Expenses. This movement gave rise to start some movements at the national level in some parts of the country. The important are the Federation of Consumer Organization, the National Consumer Protection Council, etc. The reasons for consumer exploitation. During the past, the producers were supplying goods directly to the consumers. Example: milk, fruits, vegetables, etc., without any hindrance of middlemen. When agricultural occupations developed, it changed the marketing methods. The direct transaction between the producer and consumer has almost stopped. The price fixation of the goods and services was done mainly by the middlemen. It led to many hindrances. Consumers had to undergo various difficulties and problems. They incurred many losses. The development of information technology has led to teleshopping. Through teleshopping, the consumer can sit at home and directly buy the goods from the traders. What is teleshopping? The consumers, instead of going to traders, can place order for the goods which are advertised over television and other media. Through internet, SMS or telephone, consumers can place the order for the goods selected. Payment can be made after receiving the goods at door. This transaction is called teleshopping. Consumer is a person who buys goods or hires or avails services for a consideration called price or wages. The goods purchased may be for self-consumption or meant for resale or for a commercial purpose. Any activity or transaction carried on with the motive of making profit is a commercial purpose. Every consumer has certain wants. He buys goods to satisfy his wants. It is the duty of every producer to satisfy the needs of the consumers. Ours is a free enterprise economy, and consumer is regarded as the king and occupies a prime place. But unfortunately, many a times, the consumers are neglected, exploited and cheated. They suffer heavily. Consumer protection. It refers to protection of consumers against the exploitation by the producers and traders. There is a great need for consumer protection. To safeguard the interests of consumers, consumer rights are assured. Consumer Protection Act. The consumer movements were started by a few people who suffered on account of continuous exploitation by the traders. A few are given in the first paragraph of this chapter. Such movements brought pressure on the government and alerted it to formulate new acts to safeguard the interests of the consumers. In the last 5 decades, more than 30 acts have been implemented. Example: Essential Commodities Act, Weights and Measures Act, Act Against Adulteration of Food Articles, etc. The Government of India Act 1986 is a significant step in this direction. World Consumers Day. In the history of World Consumers Movement, March 15, 1962 is an important day. US President John F. Kennedy adopted a legislation comprising of 4 rights, such as citizen safety, information, appeal and remedy. For this reason, March 15th every year is celebrated as the World Consumers Day. Major objectives of the Act. 1. The Act accords importance for safety and quality. 2. Avoiding production and sale of dangerous goods. 3. Prevention of trade malpractices in the market. 4. Supervision on quality, weights, measures and price. 5. Compensating the consumers in case of any problem arising as a result of trade. 6. Creating awareness to the consumers through consumer education. In total, the major objective of the Act is to ensure quality goods and services at reasonable prices through healthy competition. The Consumer Protection Act extends to the whole of India except Jammu and Kashmir. It applies to all goods and services. The Act promotes the rights to consumers such as 1. The right to protect against the marketing of goods which are hazardous to life and property of the consumers. 2. The right to information. Information about the quality, quantity, purity, standard, etc. to protect the consumer against unfair trade practices. 3. Right to choice, wherever possible at competitive prices. 4. Right to be heard. The interests of the consumers to be heard with due consideration. 5. Right to seek redressal against the unfair trade practices or unscrupulous exploitation. 6. Right to consumer education. The consumer are to be educated about their rights. 7. Right to stop exploitation. 8. Right to healthy environment, that is, good physical environment to enhance the quality of their life. The Consumer Protection Act provides for the establishment of Central Protection Council at national level, State Consumer Protection Council at state level, and District Consumer Protection Council at district level. These councils are formed in accordance with the jurisdiction, and the Minister in charge of Consumer Affairs at central government is the chairman at the National Council. The Minister in charge of Consumer Affairs at the state level, the District Commissioner or Collector, is the chairman at the district level. Consumer Disputes Redressal Agencies. The Consumer Protection Act provides for the establishment of consumer disputes redressal agencies such as 1. District Forum, 2. State Commission, 3. National Commission. 1. District Forum. There shall be a forum at each district. A qualified district judge nominated by the state government presides over the deliberations. It entertains the complaints where the value of goods and services is less than Rs 20 lakhs. There shall be 2 members, of whom one shall be a woman. 2. The State Commission. A person who is or has been a High Court judge is its president. There shall be 2 other eminent members who have adequate knowledge relating to consumer affairs. It entertains complaints of exceeding Rs 20 lakhs, but not more than 1 crore. Of the 2 members, one shall be a woman. 3. The National Commission. It is headed by a judge of Supreme Court to be appointed by the central government as president. There shall be 4 other members of eminence, integrity and standing. Of them, 1 shall be a woman. National Commission shall dispose of any complaints where the claim shall exceed rupees 1 crore. The methods to be followed to file a case in Consumer Court. 1. There is no prescribed pro forma to file a case. 2. The complaint may be typed 1 or handwritten. 3. The complaint should include the name of the person, that is, complainter, full address and telephone number. 4. The person or organization against whom the complaint is made should be mentioned clearly with address. 5. The particulars of the goods by which the loss has incurred and the amount of loss should be specified clearly. The bill or receipt should be enclosed. 6. There is no fees or stamp duty for the complaint. 7. No advocate or lawyer is required. The consumer himself or herself can argue. Exercises. Fill in the blanks. 1. The other name of the consumer is dash. 2. Person giving goods or services for money is called dash. 3. The Consumer Day is observed on dash every year. 4. In the case of compensation exceeding 5 lakhs, the complaint has to be submitted to the dash. Next, answer the following questions in 1 word or sentence each. 1. Who is called a consumer? 2. What is the main aim of consumer movement? 3. What is the right of every consumer? 4. When did Consumer Protection Act come into force in India? 5. Who appoints the president of the District Consumer Forum? Next, answer the following questions in 2 or 3 sentences each. 1. What are the problems faced by consumer? 2. What are the causes for consumer exploitation? 3. Mention the 4 important aims of the Consumer Protection Council. 4. What are the major functions of the Consumer Protection Council? 5. Mention 3 stages of consumer courts. 6. What are the methods to follow to file a complaint in consumer court? Next, observe the picture given in your textbook and answer the questions. 1. What is the company's name printed on the packet? 2. What is the maximum price printed? 3. What is the date of manufacturing of this item? 4. What is the date within which this item is to be used? In the activities, 1. Visit your district consumer forum with your teacher. Observe the functions of the forum and collect information. 2. Prepare 4 slogans to create consumer awareness. 3. Plan a jata on the World Consumer Day and engage yourself in creating consumer awareness. 4. Collect different types of bills or receipts of awareness. Next in the project, imagine an instance of being cheated by the trader and prepare an application of complaint. Prepare your own supporting documents.